Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with If I Could Choose Only One Work by composer X, it would have to be work Sigma. Well, first I've got to apologize. I know my voice is a little bit wrecked. It's allergy season. I'm waiting for the antihistamines to kick in. But, I figure, what the hell? If having a wrecked voice didn't stop Maria Callas from singing, it's not going to stop me from talking. So there you have it. Anyway, composer X in this case is Vaughan Williams, the film and concert music composer, a brilliant composer, one of the greatest living composers as of time of making this video. And, people who write film music, they get so little credit. Even now, even today, when we should be smarter. And work Sigma, well, this was a tough one. It really was, because Williams has written some of the greatest film scores known to man. There is a great temptation to pick Star Wars, because that was the score that brought back the great romantic Hollywood epic heroic film score thing. People don't remember, but before Star Wars in the 1970s, film scores tended to be more popular music oriented or jazzy or bluesy or small ensemble kind of things. But with Star Wars, we had a swashbuckling, heroic, cast of thousands Hollywood epic thing. And Williams did just the most amazing job with that score. I mean, everyone knows the tunes. It really was an extraordinary achievement. And, one of the problems with talking about film music and film music composers is that even though they're great, their greatness does not always lie in having a distinctive sound, the kind of thing that we usually attribute to a great composer, because film music composers specifically are notable for being flexible, versatile, chameleons, eclectic, writing in a million different styles, doing things that are suitable to the film. So it's the adaptability that I think it prevents us from recognizing their greatness. Now, of course, there were film composers who sounded like themselves. Korngold was certainly one. Miklos Rosa was another. For some reason, it didn't matter what he wrote. It all sounded Hungarian. I mean, there were some, no question about it. But a lot of them, it's the flexibility that, dominates. And the question is not so much, do they sound unlike anyone else, but just the opposite. Can they sound like anything but write great music all the same? And Vaughan Williams has certainly done that. So Star Wars is a logical choice. It's not my pick. I'm sorry, it wasn't my pick. I actually loved his score for Terms of Endearment, because he's also very, very good, not just at the big, noisy, heroic stuff. He's wonderful at writing intimate, country, homey kind of music. And he does it marvelously well. Stuff that's very, very unassuming in its way, but which immediately frames and lends flavor and texture to the films that he's scoring. My choice was Jaws. Yeah, Jaws. Why? Because the greatness of a composer also resides in their doing something which is iconic and instantly recognizable. And there is nothing more iconic or instantly recognizable than the score to Jaws. Vaughan Williams took two notes, da, wa, you know what the two notes are, ya, sounds like the finale of Dvorak's New World Symphony, doesn't it? He took those two notes and forever associated them with Jaws, with the shark, with fear of the water. I mean, that's an achievement. Only a great composer does that. Bernard Herrmann could do that too. Remember the shower scene from Psycho? I mean, he could just take a sound, a something, and make it his own. And that was it. From that time onward, those two notes in Jaws are unforgettable, indelible. And that is what makes greatness not just in film music, but in a composer generally, because those are sounds that we can't get out of our head. It's extraordinary, and you can't define it in simple musicological terms. It's not so much about harmonic procedure or counterpoint or some sort of, abstruse analysis. It's just timbre. And my God, what a timbre and what a score. But it's not just the fact that it has those wonderful two notes of the shark, like a freight train chugging along. No, it's also that it does have that New England quality. It takes place in Amity, which actually is a neighborhood in New Haven. It's a part of New Haven that borders Bridgeport. It's about like a couple miles down the road here. My grandmother, when she was in a home for the aged, was in Amity. And my mother's hairdresser is in Amity. So all of that sort of New England countryside stuff he also gets to do. It's a wonderfully rich, marvelously varied score. But of course it has the shark, one of the most amazing things anybody ever came up with. So that's my choice to give to the evil god Cancrozans, who is going to destroy all of classical music, but for one work per composer. And of course, film music is kind of a tricky thing with the evil god Cancrozans, because he didn't say anything about movies. So, and the score is part of the film. So that's kind of a loophole. The movies are going to survive. We're going to have a lot of film scores, even if he tries to eliminate everything by Vaughan Williams. But the score of Jaws, we're going to have all those other films with all of those other scores, which are an integral part of the film. I didn't say anything about getting rid of movies. So we will have movie music, I think. There's no question about it. But it doesn't matter, because Jaws is still an extraordinary, iconic achievement in the history of Western music, not just film music. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.